welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. Okay, so now that the roof's sanded for today, we're going to attack the rocker. Now, this is the rocker we have. Did some trimming on the top of it, on the edge of it to get the fit a little bit. Gonna trim off some of this, get this out of the way. Basically what you got is just gonna go in here. Gonna go somewhere about there. I gotta trim off a little bit of this, and I'm gonna trim off the inside of here, get it closer, so I get this exact fit, get a nice gap along the whole edge here, and we gotta weld it up in the bottom, and we'll be good to go. So let's get to this one. I'm gonna trim this up back, give it about 3/4 of an inch. I'll cut and butt that later when I get closer. Okay, now fit that back to the edge. And look what we have here. Looking at my gaps. This patch panel that they bought for this car is actually too long. It's long here and it's long here, so I'm going to cut this edge off so I can keep the factory body line as close as possible. Okay, that looks good there. Gonna put a clamp on this, see where I'm at on that side. Okay. Obviously not cooperating. Okay, it seems our angles are a little bit off. I need to get this here to bend a little more. I'm just going to cut out a notch. They don't make the aftermarket panels to exactly fit, they just kind of do. So, to make it fit. The way they had it, it was making this way too high. And we can't have that. So, Got about 1/8 of an inch gap on the front. And I will pull this one. Piece of styrofoam works good to sit on the cold floor. Now this, I can bring it up. From there. Go that way, just touch. Okay, what I'm using is a paint stick as a feeler gauge, and I'm going to check this gap. It's a little loose here, so if I can tack it down there, then bring it in, tack it over here. Make sure my gap stays straight with a piece, just like this. It's a perfect feeler gauge. They will show you gaps are nice, right where you want them. All right, I'm gonna grab my welder, and okay, so I got my MIG over here. Gonna run a couple tacks on the edges and open the door and get a couple in the middle. Try to get this thing as close to where I want it as possible. Turn this thing down a little bit, got it way too high here. Okay, so that's good there. I got my paint stick gap. It's a tight paint stick gap, so as I come across, I really tap that down just a touch. See how that is? That's better. All right, so we got a good gap here. I'm going to want to carry that along this whole thing. So I'll get the same gap here. I'll push this in. Pretty good. You know, this rocker isn't straight as it should be, so I'm going to have to push it in, weld it as I go. This gap's got to get closed up a little bit. This rocker definitely not straight as I'd like it to be. Let's see if I can get you over to this side. There we go. Just gonna try to put a tack in it about every 6 inches or so. See where we're at. Now that I've got it tacked where I think it should be, I'm going to shut the door and double check my gap. Pretty smooth all the way along. Gap here. Now it's nice and consistent. Say what it was doing was blowing out a little bit. It's like it's aftermarket crap. It's the best we can do. So I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna tack these right now. Then I'm gonna cut and butt all the way along there. Okay, so we've stacked welds about every inch apart all the way on top of this. We'll do down the stack welds and completely weld it 100%, and we'll come back. Okay, so the videos of finishing the welding on the rocker, grinding all the welds down, epoxy priming, sanding the epoxy primer, they all kind of disappeared, but we're going to come back with us washing the quarter and getting ready for primer, or for Bondo. And wipe it down. Glass cleaner dries really fast. We'll take the dust off. It'll be good enough to start applying product on it. My first coat I'm going to put on some Duraglass, fill in most of the deeper or lower spots, do a little forming, get the body the way I want it to look. Then the next coat we'll put on regular body filler and see if we can get this quarter panel in shape and ready for primer. Say, not looking to put a bunch on. I don't need it down here. I just need it along where the panel was welded, just to fill in any of the deeper or lower spots. Say, body filler is not really designed for a thicker layer. This could be thicker in spots. Not really sure just how much it's going to need yet, so I'm just going to keep filling it in and forming the body panel as it needs to be. Okay, so I sanded the first coat of fiberglass, laid on a second coat, filled in more of the lower spots, getting this thing pretty close to where it needs to be. Now we're going to jump over. I'm going to sand the door. So we've got a couple spots. None of this is really that big. Actually, we'll sand these little spots first. So we'll sand this like this, and I'm going to coat the whole door and make sure the whole door is nice and flat. Okay, so we're back. The fiberglass has dried. I took it down with 36 grit on an 8-inch orbital. Pretty much just roughed it out. Nothing too worried about there. And the door, like the roof, completely covered it in Bondo. Put filler over the whole thing. This will give it a nice base. I will block it now with 80 grit and get it down till probably close to the where that epoxy primer is. Now that this panel is all sanded with the 36 grit, I'm going to cover it from end to end, top to bottom, with some filler, and we're going to start doing the actual body work, getting this thing smoothed out so it's ready for paint. Okay, the first application of Bondo is now on. I did basically from the body line up on this first coat. While that's setting up, I'll jump back on the door, sand the door, wait for this to set up. While that's being sanded, I got this drying. When you're working on body panels, you do multiple panels. Do yourself a favor, do 2 or 3, 4 panels. Let the stuff set up between on each other panel. That keeps you always having something drying while something's being sanded, and it just makes the job go a lot easier. Next time, we'll recoat this if it needs some, and then we'll jump down. We'll continue on to the bottom of the quarter, and then work our way across the rocker. And in all this time, we'll also have the door being done. Once these two are done, we'll jump on the other side of the car, and we'll continue the same process. I'll keep doing this on the whole panel until I start seeing black spots from the primer. I'll know that's where you want to stop. I also feel the block as it transitions from this spot to this spot to make sure there's no lumps in it. If you find a lump in it, go across the lump, and it'll cut the lump down, make it flat. Okay, so we sanded the door with 80 grit. As you can see, there's a lot of black starting to show through. Turn the camera the other way. There you go, got a black showing through. This was the 80 grit. Now we'll take it down with 180 grit and get it even smoother, get rid of the 80 grit scratches. I got a couple spots that are still low. Let's see if I can get it with the camera. See right there. It's a little low spot there. The rest of it looks pretty decent. We're gonna take it down with 180 now and She should be close. Maybe fill out one spot in with some more filler. And we'll be getting close to primer. Hey guys, next day, didn't film the Bondo part of this. Basically, it's the same as doing a door. Put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. This is what we got. Say it's sanding with 80, then 180. We're ready for some primer now, so we're going to tape this thing up. And here's the door, pretty much same thing. It's sanded down to 80 to 180, and we're going to prime this next too. Okay, so now we're ready to prime the quarter panel, the rocker, and one of the doors. So we're going to get right on that. It's all taped up. Good use for newspapers. So we'll set you up and we'll get some priming going. Well, if you made it this far, thanks again for watching. Hit that like, subscribe, and hit the notifications button. Throw me a comment. Tell me how I'm doing and what I can do to make it better. Thanks again. Have a great day.